I'm going to do some texturing now on this Last of Us wall lamp. Alright, and I'm going to do it kind of quick because I just did this and it didn't take. I'm going to separate out the lamp shades, and I'm going to I guess that mirror is applied, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to delete that one. I'm going to work on just one lamp shade when we get down to it, but I will be putting on a mirror. I'm just going to hide the mirror for now, and I'm going to give this a material, and I'm going to call this shade. So that's got a material on it. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to select the bulbs, and I'm going to just give that a material, call this bulb. And then I've got this stuff, and I think that's going to be just fine. So let's just do some UVs. Actually, that one I'm going to come in here and I'm going to give that a material of metal. And it's possible this needs, and I think it does, weighted normal and normal's auto smooth, and that clears that up, and it clears a little problem on there as well. So I'm going to leave that. So yeah, so let's just do some unwrapping on this stuff here. So to do this, I think I will come in here, press 2 for edge selection. I'm going to select that edge there, right at the top of this protrusion, and I'm going to come in here and right at the bottom of that protrusion, mark seam, and then I'm going to press Control 1, and I'm going to alt-click that, mark seam. I'm going to take that and unwrap, and that's going to give me these shapes. And to use that best, I want to straighten this. So I'm going to press SY0 and SY0, SX0 to straighten in the SX, and SX0. 3 for face selection, select that, Control L, and follow active quads. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Choose one of these, SY0, this one SY0, this one SX0, and this one SX0. And then I'm going to select that poly, Control L, and follow active quads. Now I can take that and I can pack that. I can use Blender, or I'm going to use UV Pack Master and just pack it. And I get the whole UV space for one material, which happens to be the lamp shade. I will be doing one lamp shade and then copying it over. It's just easier because I want to use some radial symmetry on the lamp shade. Now, for the bulb, I'm going to try just simply coming in here, going U unwrap, and leaving it at that. Now, that's a separate material as well, so I'm going to select that and pack. Let's see if I can get it just a little bit bigger, and that's the bulb material, so we're just going to leave that, so I could even hide that and hide that. And that leaves me with the metal. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come in here and grab that piece. So I select a bit and I do Control L, and I'm going to use, because it's pretty much a cube, I'm going to try cube projection and just leave it like that. Then for the screws and the bolts, or the bolts and the button, I'm going to select all of that, and I'm just going to U unwrap, and that's going to give me that. It's not the greatest way to do it, but it's okay for what I want to do. At least I think. All right, now for this piece, I'm going to select the middle of the 3 from my bevel, and the middle of the 3, Control E, mark seam, and I guess I've got 2 of them, right? So let's do this. Let's get rid of this one, and I may have to actually separate that out so that I can put a mirror on here. I moved my 3D cursor here. Bunch of things going on at once. Let's bring the 3D cursor back there. Let's take that and let's mirror it over. That's fine. I don't have to have everything joined. And let's go back to UV editing. So I've done that, and now I will U unwrap, and that'll give me this, and that should be fine. It'll be the same for this one. So I'm going to be putting a texture on this, and it'll mirror over to this one. If I have a very regular texture, repeating texture, it might look bad if it's mirrored, but we're going to try it out and see how well it works. I mean, it's going to be the same for some of this stuff as well. So I got this piece here, so let's come in here and let's see. I'm going to just select an edge, Control E, mark seam, and here Control E, mark seam for that. Let's Control L. So I've got that cable there. I don't have the other one. It looks like I'm going to mirror all of this. I'm going to unwrap. That'll give me that straight thing there. Let's just do this side. Okay, I'm going to put an edge loop there. Let's just do that. I mean a seam right in the middle there. Right in the middle there. Right in the middle there. Control E, mark seam. Let's select that and try this. And I'll just get these circles like that. And I'm okay with that. I think it'll work just fine. And again, it can be trial and error. Don't worry about UV unwrapping and go, oh, I don't know how to do it. Just do something. I mean, watch some videos, of course. You know, do something and try it. And if it doesn't work, put your seams in another location and try it again and again. And you will eventually get something that works just fine. And of course, if you're completely unsure, you know, try Smart UV Project. I don't know that I really need one up there, but I'm going to do one up there. And I'm going to look from the back. And on this, I'm going to put a seam there. Control L, U, unwrap, and I'll get this. And I don't think I need to straighten these. So now I want to mirror this across. So I'm going to select little bits of this, and I'm going to delete those so that I can take, I guess I got to do this, I can take all these pieces, sorry about that, Control L, I'm going to separate it. So I can take that and I can mirror that across. So I've got, let's just bring everything back. So let's see get out of there. What's going on? You know what we could do? We could even get rid of one of these. I could delete that and just mirror that bulb across. All right, and we've also got the shade mirrored across, but I'm going to leave that on. I'm going to hide the shade because we're going to do that separately, and we're going to do all of this stuff. Now, have I, let me just double check that I have, this is all the metal stuff here. I need to pack all that together. So I'm going to press N and pack. And that gives me all the metal pieces packed. The bulb is already done. I can actually, not there. I can pack that again and it'll take up more space, although you're rarely going to see that. And of course, I think I've already done that thing. I've already done those. Okay, hide that again. Okay, we're going to take this stuff and we're going to bring that into Substance Painter. We're going to work on that first. Okay, so I got a bunch of stuff mirrored and I've got a metal material on there. Actually, let's make sure metal, bulb, that's all metal. Okay, good. 2 materials on that stuff. All right, so let's export that. I'm going to come into Substance Painter, switch this over to OpenGL, select The Last of Us metal and bulb. That's what it is. And it comes in and it keeps the mirrors there. Okay, great. And I've got bulb and metal. All right, so let's go ahead and bake the mesh maps. I'm going to use 2K, uncheck ID, uncheck thickness, and bake. All right, now have a look at it. Make sure there's no weird lines through it or strange shadowing. That looks okay, and so that's a good sign. I'm going to turn on anti-aliasing so it looks just a little bit better. And we will get started on the metal here. So I'm going to add a fill layer. And in the properties, I'm going to change the base color, make it a little darker. And roughness is fine, actually. Metallic, I'm going to bring all the way up. And I'm going to right click on the fill layer and add a filter. And the filter I'm going to use is this matte finish. And I'm going to adjust the scale of that. And, you know, already we're creating a little bit of interest on this. All right, this is our base. Let's create another fill layer and use only color. We're going to do some metal edges. So I've got just color here. I'm going to add a black mask, and I'll just use generators. The preset generators, metal edges. All right. So that'll just put a little bit of white on the edges, just to catch a bit of light. That's going to be fine with me. So I'm going to call this edges. And next, I'm on materials right now, so I'm going to search for rust. Let's try this rust coarse. Drop that in there. So it's going to go all over. Use a smart mask and search for rust as well. And let's try cavity rust. I actually like that. Now, the only thing is, think about this. This was a lamp that I saw on the wall of an interior. It's not outside. So how much rust it's going to get is, up for debate. Unless, there's a hole blown in the wall and there's rain coming in and stuff like that. So I do want some of that. But I think the first thing I want to do is I want to just, I don't really want it like that. I want it a darker rust like that. And maybe we'll come into the actual generator and just going to reduce it a little bit. So I want some of that, but I also want that other rust. I'm going to bring in this fine rust as well, and I'll use a smart mask rust, and I use cavity rust. Let's just see how edge rust does. I like it. I want to change the color, although these colors are pretty good and realistic, but I'm going to do that, and I'm going to come down to this one here and adjust the balance, and I'm going to drop that. No, not too much. And that's kind of what I'm going to be going for in terms of the rusts. Let's add some dirt on here, color and roughness. Pull that up, darken that. A black mask, a generator, and just a dirt generator. Just to throw something else in there. You can do scratches and stuff if you want, and you can also, decrease some of this. It's this one here that's causing me the most grief. I'm going to come in here and I just want a hint of it, and that's what I'm going to go for right there for my metal. All right, so with that done, I'm going to select that one and hold shift to that one and control G, put them in a folder, and actually keep it on and call that metal, and that's done. Keeping in mind the lighting is going to really affect how this looks. No, all right, never mind. Okay, now over on to the bulb. Let's get rid of that. Let's create a fill layer, but I want an emission on here, so I'm going to come over here, and there's no emissive channel here, so I'm going to add one. So let's just do that, get in there, emissive, and over here I'm going to use color and emission. Just turn emission on, and we'll go for that white for now. And the emissive color, maybe a little bit of yellow. And I kind of want a mix of sort of white and yellow. And then over here, we can activate post effects glare. You can turn that on and switch that to blue. You may see a small effect. We didn't see much. We need to come up in here to emissive intensity, and that's going to really determine. And in the past I've overdone it. I just want a little bit there. So that is it for the moment for that stuff. So what I'm going to do is we would save this. So let's save that just like that. And now I can export this. I'll come to export textures, and for the output templates, if I look at PBR metallic roughness, I've got emissive in there. So that's the one I'm going to use. So I'm going to switch this to PBR metallic roughness and export. I'm going to bring it into texture test, and I'm ready to export. I'll do it at 8 bits. I don't need high quality. There those are. So let's come over to Blender and shade the shading tab, and with metal selected, Shift Control T, and let's come to here, and let's go to, where is it? Okay, metal bulb, flat metal. I guess it's this. Give it a second to come on there. So this is what it looks like under these lighting conditions, so you have to consider the light. I'll put it like that for now. Let's come up to the bulb. And this should be the bulb, down to roughness. Okay. It looks like that for the moment. We're going to do something here. I'm going to get rid of the displacement because I'm not going to use cycles, and I don't need that. That's still connected. In fact, I'm going to change that to the emissive. All right, and it still says displacement. I'm going to press N and just change that to emissive. And it's plugged in, and I'm going to take this and plug this into the emission and start out with a strength of about 5. So let's just have a look at that. It's starting. It's not very strong. I'm going to turn on ambient occlusion, however, bloom. You see a little bit more. Screen space reflections and switch those. And I'm actually going to switch my ambient occlusion. I'm going to use 1 and maybe 2. It might be too much, but so here is what we're starting to see for this. All right. All right, that doesn't look too bad. Again, very light dependent. Let's actually try another one just to get a sense of. You see, now it looks silver like that. So let's go ahead with that. Let's come back to the UV editing now. And let's bring back the lampshade. I want to focus just on the lampshade. And I come in and Shift S, cursor to selected. Bring my 3D cursor there. So this is kind of like central. So we're going to export that and bring that into Substance Painter. New, OpenGL, and lampshade. All right, so there it is, and it's just the one. It's just the shade. So let's bake the mesh maps at 2K with unchecked ID and thickness. Okay. So now we're going to do our materials. I'm going to add a fill layer, and I'm going to change the color here to this kind of a browny yellow, beige, I suppose is the word. Something like that. We can always come back and work on that later. Okay, so maybe that's base. In fact, what I probably will do, well, I'll show you in a bit. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a fill layer, and I'm going to use just height, and I'm going to bring the height up to about there. I'm going to add a black mask, and in the alpha of the black mask, I'm going to search in here, and I forget what it's called. So this comes with Substance Painter, so I'm going to come down. We're getting close. There it is. Shape wave. I want that. All right. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to orthographic and snap to an orthographic view. I'm going to turn on symmetry, and that's why I did this on 1. I'm going to turn on radial symmetry, drag this up to 360, increase the count. Oh, we'll try 12. And no, I want it in the Y. And I'm going to increase my brush size, but I'm going to decrease my flow. Try it there. I'm going to hold down Shift and Control as I click down. And that's basically the effect I'm going for. Now just keep in mind that I can come over here and let's see if I can affect it here with my roughness. Bring my roughness way up for this sort of lampshade type thing. And let's try again. And that's the effect that I'm basically going to be going for. All right. Now it just looks sort of a little bit like a piece of plastic, dull plastic with that in there. And of course you can play with the size of this and the spacing and all that, but I think that I'm going to be happy with that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to Smart Materials, and I'm going to type fabric, and I could build this, but I'm going to drag in this baseball cap. Let's hide that and open this up, and this fabric base, I'm going to change this to the color that I sort of want, and it may be ever so slightly different. And there is some texture in here from this baseball cap. All right. There is that. There is also, I could, on top of that, I could create another fill layer, add a black mask, and a fill. And here I'm going to use just height. Let's knock the height way up for this. And here, use one called weave. Okay, that's come in there. We're going to change the scale. I'm going to try 30. See that coming in there? And then you can adjust the histogram position to get more or less of what you want. You can adjust the pattern. Let me try 3 and see. Yeah, I had some success with 3 or 4, depending on what you want. In there, I kind of liked that. So we could see. Let's try another lighting, because this is going to be highly affected, as I had said, by the lighting. All right, so that looks like a little bit of fabric in there. So I don't really need that. And this is our pattern here. Maybe we'll put a bit of dirt on this. Color and roughness, the usual thing. And just using a generator. Something like that. So what if we save that and export that texture? All right, back over here. Let's turn the mirror back on for this stuff. And we're on the shade, so Shift Control T. And I'm going to try this shade. And there it is. Let's try a few different lightings. Might as well do the last one. Cycle through all of them for you. Okay, I think I'll leave it on that one for now. So that gives you an idea. Anyhow, you could go back and then tweak whatever you want for this. And you can bring in your own lights, of course, and set it up for a render. But that's just a quick way to get the materials on there. And of course, you know, if this was done in geometry or sculpting, you know, it would take you a long time. It took me just like, you know, 10 seconds to set that up and throw on that pattern. So that's it for now. That's the end of the Last of Us wall lamp, and I think we'll move on to do some other things. So thank you very much for watching. Please like the video and leave a comment if you like, and we'll see you in the next one.